we are back for our Friday game after 8 weeks away.
Was it 8 weeks?
It was 8 weeks.
Wow.
Because we had 3 fortnights in a row of it being the playtest.
Yeah.
So the first week of the playtest and the last week of the playtest.
Yeah.
And that meant 4 fortnights since we last played.
Okay, alright, I guess so. Yeah.
It's surprising how quickly that adds up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's surprising how quickly it went by as well, which is a bit scary. Also, Martin, speaking of the happy music that you played for the rest of the game, why do you always give us the spooky music?
That's because we're special.
Now.
We're special.
Okay, great.
Because he's not here, I'm going to blame it on Chevelle.
No.
She was the one who told the inaccurate history of our party and thus producing a book which threatened our entire timeline and everything that we did.
Yes. Interesting things can happen.
Just a little thing in there to make Chevelle happy too.
Okay, so we're up to session 116 of 268 done by the Friday night group. And that's phase 3 season 2 episode 8.
Wow. Yep.
We are up to video session number 624. We've had this is the 24th session since we last ran.
Wow. Yep.
Okay.
Not the 24th Friday night, but the 24th session since I last ran.
The last session was the 600th because we had pizza and Izzy brought more beer than we could drink.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it wasn't a lot of beer that she brought. She brought like 4 beers and there's 4 of us.
All it has to be is 1 extra beer is more beer than we can drink.
Yeah, and I don't drink alcohol, so...
No, neither do we.
She was the only one who drank.
It's a shame we couldn't have been at the table that day, because we would have.
Yes, well, unfortunately,
Pizza
planning
was
does
good,
go astray.
It was the pizza night. That's how long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is the 16th day of the 4th month of the year 1011. Everyone is 12th level. And the music in the background is Under a Fell Black Sky, the Dragon Battle.
Okay.
So, Sirenscape does have quite a few interesting sounds going for it. The Celebration one is a little more upbeat, but I played that last session, so I thought I'd do something different this session.
Just because it's us, right?
Well, the other ones had different things played in the previous one, so mixing it up always helps.
Oh, we've got a dragon, so it's quite appropriate.
Pleasant music for Pathfinder last week, even though we were all mutilated beautifully, but anyway.
Hey, it was a horror game, and to be honest, you haven't really had that level of horror inflicted upon the party in one go for quite a long time.
No, we hadn't.
And as you had just come back from, for that game, 6 weeks off, it was a, hello.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, so the last time I played a horror.
stuff.
This is after we played. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so one of the characters on that game had asked if her character could die horribly in that session because she was unable to make the Friday nights anymore.
Go out with a bang, I agree. It's
so do you remember old D&D teleport mishap?
Oh, yeah.
So the entire party had teleport mishaps. And so her character appeared inside a stone door with face out one side and feet out the other.
Oh, dear.
So that left for like 12 hours.
And M's character lost an arm because her arm appeared through a stone balcony.
Oh, but you can just get a bionic one. Probably get a better one. We can build you better than you were before.
So they had a lot of they spent about 2 hours game time dealing with the teleportation mishap. And I thought that was a great introduction back into the setting because it then put them all on edge for what was going to happen next in a trap-filled dungeon. How much worse can it get?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all injured. Some of us quite badly.
Missing limbs, yeah.
Well, M's character's one of her character's nicknames is Flex One Arm,
I now live up to that name.
and had to take off one of her puppy's tails and another one's feet. So no one went through completely unscathed.
Was it giants or puppies? I can't remember.
I do have it in my notes, but I won't be looking that up until next Friday.
Next week,
Okay, so
anyway, moving on to this game.
back to this game. Last session we had you meeting with a whole bunch of gods. It was a long talking session, which won't be happening this session.
Wait.
As you had taken on the task to get the seasons back on track and try to convince the Primal Titans to stop messing with the world. I had to think my way through those because I wanted to say words that I probably shouldn't be recording for this style of game.
Fair enough.
Really, my brain was still focused on the horror game, and that game doesn't really need editing of your words.
We don't want to beep words out in the somewhat family-friendly D&D game.
I don't know, the Master doesn't exactly seem the nicest person ever to appear in the world.
Well, he's not the nicest person, though the Star Wars game that I do run is definitely PG with adult themes.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say like in the Star Wars game there was like a worse person than the Master in Star Wars.
There is a worse person than the Master in the Star Wars game.
Darth Vader.
No.
Oh, Palpatine.
Someone worse than him.
Can't think of. Is Palpatine and Snoke the same person?
Nope. Snoke is supposed to be a failed clone of Palpatine.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Of course, depending on which lore you read, there's a whole bunch of wishy-washiness about that one, mainly because Snoke may not appear in any future Star Wars Disney stuff. And they may actually delete those 3 movies from the timeline.
Sorry to digress this D&D group into Star Wars talk.
It happens.
When we were talking about the Master, my
Don't worry, we already started the Pathfinder talk, so we're already kind of there.
Hey, we are a role-playing group, and we are all geeks, so sidetrack is part of what we do. So today, at the table, we have Gary.
Hello everyone, I'm playing Anton Tuga, who is a Tralladaran warlock, and thankfully is no longer the head of the Cult of the Black Earth. And can get down.
Successfully handed that back.
Successfully handed back, so get my feet back on solid ground and not in this airy-fairy thing of having responsibility.
Yeah,
and we even have a stat thing for him, which we'll be getting other people to fill out for their own characters at some point.
Yeah, I've been trying to fill one out for ages.
It will be basically encouraging people to update and expand.
Yeah,
Because
I read that a while ago.
and that will be one way for people to keep track of their character description.
I started mine the same time you did,
Yeah.
with the goal of writing a short character description, and just like I do with every single one of my short stories, it's now a 5-page description of fabrics and all of her stuff, and so
I've got a 6-page backstory,
yeah,
And it will continue to grow,
Yep.
as all good characters do.
And I should mention, because I always forget, Proshka, faithful's not quite the right thing. He denies being a friend, but my
I was going to say you could possibly just put it under that camera there and people could see
I
it.
pitched the picture off the internet.
That's fine.
Pinched it off something.
As
Proshka,
long as you don't show it for more than 10 seconds, you'll be fine.
Proshka is my friend, although he denies it. And likes to
He's
actually...
really good at cards.
He's really good at cards, and he loves to gather gossip.
Calcrix has lost no
This is
count
interesting
of
because
number
I have proficiency in cards, but he
cookies
doesn't.
to Proshka.
I think it's just because Proshka likes cookies.
It's a good thing
That-
that she
and that-
has a
We did
bag of
establish though that he
never-ending
can't
cookies.
eat that many, can we? Or what happens if he eats too many? Did we ever actually establish what that? What
Well, they're
happens?
healthy cookies. So.
He may actually gain power.
Well, he's going to need it.
He's going to have to eat it, but he's going to have to gain it by eating like 1,000 cookies at a time. But
actually, no. Well,
you should probably
given
keep an
he's
eye
more
on-
irresponsible than I am, probably best he doesn't have power.
Yeah. Oh, Martin may put something in there because when they play cards, Calcrix does not gamble with gems and gold. She gambles with cookies.
Okay, well, yeah, and you've got an infinite supply of them. That,
Yeah,
by the
that's-
way,
that's
is, in
pretty
my
much-
opinion, the most powerful magic item I have ever seen. An infinite supply of cookies.
Yeah. Well, you know, she's
Ever let that fall into evil hands.
she's just as admiring of your cheese bag, the cheesy bag.
So, does a dark fae count as evil?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I would say, had you ever seen any of the Tuesday sessions, particularly the Tuesday session where they were down in the Shadowlands, where Eve pulled a demon from its home plane into their plane and then consumed it,
Okay.
you might have a different idea about the most powerful and dangerous thing that Calcrix has with her.
Well, I just think
Well, it's the
you
first.
could feed a lot of people with that.
Well, it's the first time that Calcrix had asked Eep to get something.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, it was threatening my good friend Lani, and there's one thing that Calcrix won't put up with, and that's for something like a demon threatening the entire village and family of one of her party
You have
members.
a rather different familiar from Prosca.
Yeah, just Calcrix didn't know that, and to be honest, she's 12, and she believes denial may be a good way of dealing with this situation right now, because she doesn't have the life experience to tell her that it is exactly the wrong way to deal with that situation.
Sometimes you've got to learn these things the hard way.
Yeah.
One
she's got
cookie at a
feeling
time.
She's got a feeling she's going to pay big at some point, but right now she's just concentrating on the 50 quests and the 2 parties that she's in. Speaking of which,
that's a lot.
Which does bring us to Ariadna.
I was going to
I'm
say,
just going to switch over to...
just for Josh's amusement, this is Calcrix, the fire dragon, with the jazz wings, because she has to take responsibility for guiding and mentoring a certain fire genasi who could not get her facts straight when storytelling, and now has to earn her red apple. But this is the real Calcrix. The white dragon with the jazz wings, and 2 apples, neither of which she's allowed to eat, and she feels that this is an unfair situation since they smell like gemstones.
That's right.
Accompanying her is her plant-like companion Eep, a fey dark, tiny, but very powerful ally. We'll leave it at that, and I'll go finish making tea.
Well, I'm sure if you ask a lot of Fae, they will say size doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't seem to.
Yeah.
I mean, surely it can't be as bad as Murder Hobo Chocobo over here.
That's true.
Well, the scene that they described would be that they put up a wall of force to stop a group of Varrock demons from hitting the party. And it did stop the demons, but it was starting to mentally affect one of the PCs. So as the PCs were retreating, Calcrix sent Eep at it, and Eep went straight through the wall of force and pulled the creature into this reality and then consumed it.
Okay. Yep.
So each of those things were an improbability as far as half the party could imagine.
Yeah.
And none of the other party got to witness those events, so...
Yeah, well, all I've seen is Eep hands out cookies.
Cookies, that's it.
all I've seen.
That's all
Thank
you're
you.
supposed to get from Eep. That's peppermint.
Thank you.
Because he doesn't solve everything, he just does a few special favours here and there.
Okay.
Well, Calcrix doesn't expect Eep to do all the young as far as Calgary's goes.
And that brings us to our next person online, which is M.
Hello, I play your ever-lovable cleric wizard. There's no background commentary. Finally, the bliss.
A reformed ranger? A former
Reformed,
ranger.
I like it. Reformed. You leveled up to cleric.
You were a ranger, but then you got some common sense and became a cleric.
You saw the light.
I saw the light. Yes.
And you went to the light, and then you came back.
Yes. As previously mentioned, I have many animal companions, one of them being Chocobo, which is a very lively axbeak who likes to bring me legs.
And has gained the power of speech.
And has gained the power of speech, which is kind of scary.
Not when you have...
Basic speech, but speech nonetheless.
Well, when you have druids around among you, druids can quite easily mess with the natural order of things.
Hooray!
I was gonna say,
I also have Artemis, which is my warhorse, who's going to be probably really pissed off with me. But
Who's also able to speak.
who's also able to speak.
Celestial.
And Atlas, who can't speak yet, but given the way that the rest of the animals are going, I'm sure it's not going to be too long.
Atlas doesn't need to speak, Atlas screams.
Oh, yeah, Atlas screams. Great.
Chocobo might have a fondness for bringing you legs, but I think it's all meant in a good way.
Yeah, well, so we did go adventuring together, and I did teach him how to hunt and how he thinks he pleases me is by murdering people and bringing me their body parts. And I'm sure Artemis has absolutely nothing to do with that encouragement at all.
Well, wouldn't it be disturbing if Artemis and Chocobo tried to see who could bring the most body parts back?
Yeah, that would be...
And then they were topped by Atlas because, well, Griffin.
Yeah. That is a day I really don't want to see, so let's stop talking about it because I'm giving my ideas. Apparently.
Yeah, that's true. There's true. There's a problem because we did have this experience with quite a few body parts appearing when we were in that city, the Nordic city. I can't remember what it's called. Norvik.
Which is still there.
Well,
We're still there.
It doesn't help that we were away, and apparently the stable hand didn't follow instructions, and he also slightly got murdered, I think.
Well, no one's seen the stable hand for a while, so either the stable hand ran away, got murdered, or something else happened.
Well, there's been a party in the city for as far as I can remember. So
People always go missing in big parties.
exactly, might have just had a few too many to drink.
So, yes, it can be easily brushed under the I don't want to learn about this pile.
Well, you did find a pile of bodies in the stables.
Well, yes, but we know who they are. They were the couriers, and because we were, like, in the other scroll doing, I think, the first quest, which was the Stone Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest, because none of the rest of the letters had been delivered yet, they got delivered while we were occupied.
Well, it is quite interesting when you compare the order that is mostly lawful compared to the order that is mostly chaotic. They have completely different ways of dealing with you. One of them is if you don't follow our steps, you have to start again.
Yeah. I know, and somehow I got caught up in the lawful side.
Yes, and you managed to wiggle out of being in charge.
Yeah. I think they relieved me of the responsibility. They realised the mistake.
It was more that it was not your choice. If you had intended to take charge, you would have been in charge.
Okay.
And for them, accidental in charge is not a good enough way of taking charge.
Anton doesn't think he deserves responsibility, so...
Don't worry, your patron does.
Apart from the fact that he He's not on the same wavelength as the monkish members of this cult.
But they did teach you, you know, patience and calm and order.
But try to learn those things. The real connection is Iron Fang. I don't know whether they feel the same way as Iron Fang, but yeah, the idea of destruction. Yeah.
Well, there is a reason why our Fatians used to use them as their shock troops.
Okay, so they don't mind destroying things.
That was what they were taught to do.
Okay, all right. So
that's
the connection.
They did mind mindlessly destroying things and being used as a threat, because that's why they left our faith.
And their patron didn't like the direction the nation was going. They don't believe in being dictated to by their goddess of peace.
Yeah, this goddess of peace really is an interesting person.
And that is the patron of Alphatia, because that is her name.
Okay.
She is literally the symbol of the nation.
Yeah, well, I tend to agree that you've got to be choosy about what gets destroyed. But I think there are some things in this world that definitely need tearing down.
Mm-hmm.
Alphatia.
Yeah, I did write down the ones I didn't like, but I can't remember what they are.
I don't mean that I only mean that in the sense that they are determining to commit genocide on a neighbouring country, and that's the only reason they fall into that.
Yes. I wrote Alphations and Phaeacians are the ones, okay.
They're the ones currently at war with each other, and the Phaeacians are the ones who are stopping the Alphatians from crossing into the region. If the Phaeacians hadn't stood up and declared war, most of you would be murdered by now.
Okay. I still have them down as the bad guys.
Well, they're not necessarily the good guys. Just because a bad guy has stood up and stopped another bad guy doesn't make them the good guys.
Aren't they the ones who conquered? Aren't they the ones who conquered Tralladara?
They are the ones who have conquered most of the region, as have the Alphatians.
Actually,
so
no,
both of them are conquerors.
Very inaccurate thing to say. No, it's a bit like when China stands up to Russia.
Well,
I got the countries right this time.
I am part of the Mystara message board stuff, and they were asking who are the evils of Mystara. And I said the Alphatian and the Theatan empires when they're in conquering mode.
Okay.
They are literally the people who just completely overrun every other nation.
Right. Bad guys.
Yes.
I've got that right. And when it comes to tearing things down, empires are a good thing to tear down.
The only good point about the Theatans is when you kick them out of their country and you've got all the infrastructure left behind. Okay, so last session we had you speaking to the gods, and we have you now back in the city of Norvik after collecting your 6 gemstone apples.
I wrote that down. It's actually a gemstone. I didn't write that down last time.
And the 3 of you are now sitting down at the Knight's Rupert Inn. The others having been off partying.
Okay. Study green apple gemstone.
And you have all 6 of them on the table.
Oh, okay.
Because the others couldn't actually take them into the city with fear of losing such a item.
Okay. 4 elements. What are the other 2?
Oh wait, we're in the Ninth Meridian, so that's not good.
There are 4 elements. What are the other 2 that make up 6?
Okay, so we've got black, which is entropy.
Yep.
Gold, which is the non-aligned element as
That's
far as
the
I
2.
can
Black and
understand
gold.
for it.
Okay, black and
Green, which is yourself earth. White, which is air. Red, which is fire. And blue, which is water.
gold. Okay.
And right now, Feyre has 2 apples. And Kalkrix has 2 apples. And you and Zal have the other 2.
Yep. And Cheval hasn't been trusted with any?
No.
Okay. That's probably wise.
But the others have left theirs behind because Druzzle has returned to the party now that you've completed your quests,
Yep.
and warned them not to take him into the city.
Okay. Probably not going to get a useful answer, but I have to ask the question. Why shouldn't we take him into the city, Drazzle?
People like you there.
These apples can control Titan primals. They are gifts from the elemental lords. They're very powerful artifacts.
Okay, probably
And
should
I
hide
think
them.
they might be able to form a giant mechanical robot formed out of cats. Or other dinosaurs.
Okay, all the powers come together. I quite like that idea.
This is Calcrix's imagination.
Okay, I can see that. All right, so we shouldn't let them people. Okay, studying in the open in a pub's probably not the best thing to do then.
Well, the pub you're in at the moment doesn't have a lot of patrons, and the only people here are members of Redrian's investigation bureau.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
all right.
yeah, this is Redrian's Inn. So the people here should be people who have been, for lack of a better word, background security checked by Redrian, who is technically
We're
a
an
god.
invested in. We're like the VIP lounge of D&D.
There is a common room upstairs that the locals can't get to.
Should we report to Redrian? How have we done so?
I believe you would have reported to him what had happened over the course of your time jumps.
Okay. So what does he think? Has he got anything to say in response?
He is going to go with whatever you feel will help.
Okay.
Asking if you need any assistance to let him know, and he'll see what he can do.
Is this where we use the story point and just be like, Sir Redrian, what do we do? What do you think?
I will point out that Redrian's belief system is
I was just
that
about to go there.
he will happily assist you, but he will not make the decisions for you.
Okay.
Because if he starts making the decisions for you, he doesn't need you.
I said opinion. I said your opinion. What's your opinion?
And that's the thing that is part of doing it for you, is giving you his opinion.
Okay. Can he at least give us information?
I was going to go with, we would be better off asking him, who does he know that would have knowledge, the best knowledge, or the best capacity to advise us about our 3 or 4 theories about whether we eat the apple and absorb the power, give the apple as gifts, hold them up in the air and join them together and make a great big giant robot, or what was the 4th one?
It was something to do with cats.
That was the make the giant robot.
Out of cats.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't one of the legitimate theories from the last session. Eat the apple. All right.
Well, actually, can he actually tell us what these things actually do?
He doesn't know.
No.
Okay, all right, well...
He says that they are not something that existed before today, roughly.
Well, I'll just tell you the moral quandary I've got here. I've heard that these enable us to control the Primal Titans. And to be honest, I have a lot of sympathy for the Primal Titans.
Calcrix pipes up. Says no, that's not what
Okay.
they said at all. They said that that we need to match the powers up for the Apple to Titan that matches it.
Yeah.
And what it will do is it will, if we do it the right way, we will prove that we are worthy for the primals to pay attention to us, and that we may then ask them to help us with the master and ask them to settle.
Puzzle.
So we can't control the Titans at all. It will merely give us audience and sway.
Yeah,
As
because
long as
the
we
whole
do it
point
right.
was
Okay.
not to control the Titans, because that's exactly what people have done in the past.
Yeah, no, that's the point I was going to make. I didn't want to control.
Yeah.
But he does suggest that it will most likely be a combination in dealing with them, because most of the gods do not make a single thing that can
they've
be
they've got more than one element. I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
And and anything of that scale, if it could be affected by a single item, it wouldn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, so it says...
I've got down Primal Titans. Dawn is Zeta something, or my number is Zetalpa. Tide is Natal. Storm is Atali. Guess is Tetzimok.
I did send Ariadna a screenshot on her phone.
Oh, you
Calamity is Zagma.
Yeah, because I've been trying to do a table of all of the Titans and matching them up to their elements.
But if they've got more than one element in them, that makes it a little bit more complicated.
Ah, I see.
Is this where we balance the third element in them? so like for instance, oh actually I don't know if that's true anymore, but Zal had 3 elements.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's entirely true anymore.
I know.
At the moment, we have you down with 2.
Yeah, I think it's 2 for you.
You got thought and air, so air and dark.
Yeah,
Air
I've only got
yeah,
2.
I did have Earth, but I think I had to give up Earth in order to be airy.
Yeah.
Order to complete the quest for the Alamaster of Air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they're opposites of each other. You couldn't
Yeah,
have both.
they're technically opposed, but Zal being Zal, took that as a challenge. But did concede that if I wanted to actually be a useful member of society, I put my pride aside and did it and got rid of my earthies.
Mm.
And that pride is a reference to why I lost becoming a ranger.
You evolved from there. You moved beyond it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I have learnt something from that.
Well, Yumuga is a teacher.
Which one is Yumuga?
Yumuga is also known as Terra.
Oh, okay.
Mother
Yumuga
Nature.
is the god that Zal follows.
Or is
okay.
it? No, I think it's Mother Earth, actually. It is the closest thing. So Gaia would also be another term for
Okay.
her.
All right. Yep.
So Zetalpa, Dawn.
Hmm.
What kind of dinosaur are they? Do we know?
This is where Izzy was good. She knew it all.
Yeah, she knows all of that.
Well, I will send you some more screenshots then.
Thank you. Sorry for being a very slow learner with
It's
a horrible
okay.
memory.
I will do what I can. It's just not always easy to manage everything on my end.
Well, can we try our other
Appreciate
idea
that.
where we talked about the fact we do have some spells that can give us information?
Yes.
I
I think we should try the spells.
Try the safer spells first. I'll save contact other plane for last.
I mean, I do like the suggestion that we ask Rodrian, is there anyone who would be a better guide on what
how to join or combine these apples.
yeah, like how do we balance them, and what does that entail, I guess.
Our side quest could possibly be an education on how to create balance in the elements. Because the last time I did it, I was in Yalaran, and that was like about 2 years ago, and I do not remember how we did it.
Well, some of you did it by jumping in and challenging a god.
In Yalaran.
Yeah, that was the temple where we fought the avatar of
No, I'm talking about the
Dark Lake?
Tuesday groups was in Yalarum in the tombs. And
Oh.
we had
Oh, that was a
exactly
different
the
one.
same situation. We had
Right.
6 doors to open, and they were connected to elements. No, 5 doors to open. They were connected to like various elements, and they had to be all opened at the same time.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, in an Nithian cult of death tomb. So everything was designed to kill you.
Yay.
Not just a normal don't steal our stuff or you will die because of traps, but come in here and there are going to be some very inventive and painful ways to die. Or die over and over and over and over
I
again.
sent you the 6 pictures.
Thank you very much.
Not easy because I couldn't remember where all the pictures were located in the PDF.
Thank you very much.
So, amusingly, it is from the Ixion Magic the Gathering setting.
Mm.
All the Magic the Gathering settings work well in Mystara as one of the thing that does 5 elements as its mainstay.
I've never. Well, I have played more, but I played very little. I can't remember what it's called now. Brain dead.
Magic.
Magic the Gathering. Yeah.
So what they have down for is white is associated with protection and order, which is where I'm using the air. Blue is associated with deceit, and
God, you talk so fast.
well, I'll send you a picture of that as well.
He's like, I'm like, oh, my hands can't keep up.
But this is just what Magic the Gathering does with it.
Oh, okay. But but this is useful to us, yes.
Potentially, we'll see how it goes.
Mm.
I was gonna say we just need Lani to come and talk.
It
to
does
Des.
work as so you can sort of see there's 5 colours on a wheel.
Yeah.
It does make a good opposing thing because it does show fire being opposed by water, but also by air. It has earth being opposed by water and darkness. It had all the other different things sort of floating around in a circle.
Mm.
Makes a very good reference point as it's very simplistic how things can oppose each other. And hopefully make it easier on people because it's something they can reference. And
Yep.
then I can pull lots of stuff from the 40 odd years of Magic.
90s it came out, like 30.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah. I'm still not sure what we should be doing now.
Well, I think asking Redrin about who we could talk to. Maybe he knows someone who is a learned sort of librarian or educator or an academic we could go seek some more knowledge from.
Who has great knowledge on the elements and
On
potential
elements
balancing
and
of
balancing the elements and the primal titans, as if possible,
Well,
but at least the first.
Redrian wouldn't know as much because he doesn't know all the gods that well.
No.
But character's knowledge would either would suggest that Odin would be the
Ooh, I know
best
what
person
I'm
to
going to
ask
do.
because he is the head of the sphere of knowledge.
My dragon's over there. I can't do actions with it. I accidentally left her over out of the way.
Oh, I'm gonna grab some sand.
I see flappy
Be
wings.
careful, you have to take the lettuce off. Carrickrex is now waving her hands wildly in the air and goes, I know what to do! I know what I'm going to do! What she's going to do is she's going to pull out of her bag her drinking horn from Odin. She picked up a drinking horn from Odin several sessions ago.
Yep, I know.
Several of us did.
We all got.
And
We all
she-
got
I don't think any of us have used our.
no, we
No.
haven't.
No, she
Yeah.
she was saving hers because I think Yodri may have.
Oh, Laundry might have, yeah.
Yeah. But
But
Calcrick's
most of us haven't had it yet.
this could help with this exact task, and she held on to it. Right. Oh, I'm just
So I do remember it was something about wisdom or knowledge or something.
Yeah, knowledge. He's a god of knowledge and wisdom, and yeah. So I got a horn for wisdom, knowledge from Odin. You got a horn from your patron, Anton.
Well,
Currently
not my
unknown.
patron, but from the Black Knight.
Well, it just says here that
Horn of Ale of the Black Knight.
yeah, and Zal got one from Terra,
I got one from Terra. Yeah.
and then it was your turn. No one else got one because if you weren't there, you didn't get one.
I didn't want to punish those who didn't make it, but I also didn't want to reward them for
Yeah.
being away.
So, Calcrick.
I think the only one that might have got one not being there is Josh.
Calcrick will drink from her horn from Odin and see if that results in getting some insight into this particular subject. She will keep in mind when she opens it and just as she's about to drink it. How is this thing sealed, by the way?
It is sealed with a wax seal.
Oh, okay. So, because I'm like, how is she carrying around a drinking horn with ale in it in a bag since about several months ago?
No, all drinking horns are open at the wide end.
So she'll be thinking particularly upon the words that were discussed amongst the elemental lords, as well as from the Mistress Nyx and the goddess Terra, when they received their apples and when they were talking about how they might settle or appease the Titan's anger, and then also persuade or ask for their help in dealing with the Master. I'm so glad you said Odin. That reminded me of the fact that I've been waiting to use that horn, and I knew I was going to use it for this task. I just didn't know when.
That's all good. I remembered the horns. Okay, so after drinking the horn, you get a vision of a old man hanging from a tree with one eye.
Hanging by like one arm, or hanging like by his neck?
More like strapped to the tree.
Oh, strapped to the tree. Okay, cool.
Which, in a lot of stories, is how Odin gained most of his knowledge.
In this vision, does she interact, or does she
You see two crows either side of you. Though they look
Definitely.
more like ravens than crows, but hey, a blackbird is a blackbird depending on who you are.
if she's allowed to interact, she will...
One of the crows starts talking to you.
Yep, okay.
Tells you about how a lot of balance can be brought about by bringing what is missing. And you
She's
sort of
mentally smacking her own forehead and going, I should remember this lesson from like 5 other quests I've been on.
And it is giving you the impression of using the elements not in the Titan to get its attention.
So, opposite?
Well, it would only be 2 elements in the Titan.
So say if it was
The ones representing the parents.
Oh, okay. So if you've got the tide, you would take the elements that represent tide's parents. Okay.
Whereas the other raven gives you an alternate point of view, saying that a Titan should respect the power that is in it. And that being the elements associated with its parents.
This is hurting my hands so much.
So say like what one of them has like earth and fire, say, and their parent has light.
None of them have the Fire Elemaster and the Earth Elemaster as a parent.
Yeah, so we've got to figure out who are the parents of everyone. And then, so we do know that Calamity's parents are Nyx and Terra, I'm fairly sure from the last session I just watched. So Nyx is Entropy, Black Apple. Terra is Gold Apple. So we would bring the Gold Apple and the Black Apple when dealing with Calamity. So were we to know, say, the...
Or is Calamity just the Black Apple?
Oh, Calamity might be just the Black Apple, yeah.
Because you know that Terra is the mother of 5 of the Titans.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I did forget that.
No, it's all good because not all the gods know all the answers. And sometimes they will give you misleading information because the gods are not perfect.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have to be careful because Calamity might only have one parent or the one element, whereas the other 5 will all be the Gold Apple?
I've got Queen of the Feywild gave birth to 5 of the Titans through 4 of the Elemental Lords.
Yes, yep, that is correct. Do you have who to who?
No, it doesn't go there. I haven't got that level of detail.
I don't know that I've got who to who either.
But, you know, some of them are more clearly associated with some elements than others, so they're probably the ones that have an Elemental Lord as a parent.
Well, I would suggest, from what I'm trying to put together just now, Tide will be Terra and the Water Elemental. Yeah. Storm will be Terra and the Air Elemental.
Yeah.
Death will be
Queen
of Darkness, and I'm not sure. Golta, Hunger will be Earth and Terra. Calamity doesn't have any of the elementals, which is why they would be black alone. And Dawn would be Fire and Terra. So I guess that's why the Gold Apple is gold, because it goes with, it would probably be gold and red, gold and blue, gold and white.
As you believe, the Gold Apple is a representation of life.
Yeah.
Mortality.
And so the black one relates to the Lady of Darkness?
It does.
Yes. Yeah. Entropy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that
and
right?
it would either be just the Black Apple or just the Gold Apple relating to the last one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've always given 2 options because the gods do not give you a straight answer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, why would they do that?
Because they're not permitted to.
Straightforward.
It's a bit sort of naive, but if we ever got to talking to the Titans, could we ask them, who are your parents?
They may not know.
Who's your daddy?
But who's your daddy? Okay.
Well, I think we've just worked it out because we know that Terra gave birth to 5 with each elemental lord. The only question will be the straightforward one, fire, water, air, and earth, they're pretty straightforward. The only question mark we've got is entropy, and then, as Martin pointed out, calamity, because calamity has no elemental, no elements. Then it's either black or gold, and I think entropy.
Calamity does sound like entropy rather than life.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the only two that I'm not entirely sure about.
You have legend lore, don't you?
I do.
Can we
Which
throw
is
a
going
few
to be
legend
my.
laws
It's
at
going to be my.
each of these
It's going to be
names?
my next thing after I finish this vision. So I just want to make sure balance can be brought by bringing what is missing, and that's the suggestion of matching the parents to the Titan.
There were two opposing viewpoints.
Yep, I'm about to move on to, and then a Titan must respect the elements within it. What was the bit after it? Not
That was where the matching elements.
Oh, okay. So the first one.
The first one was saying bring what it's missing, but it didn't actually say matching stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So.
It did. You did think you would expect it was missing what you had figured out that you believe they were saying what it was missing from its parents.
We jumped to the conclusion of that.
Okay, so we may have jumped to the wrong conclusion with the first one, because the second one is more obviously.
Well, if you know what the second one is, that's the opposite of the first one.
Opposite then.
So one raven gives you one solution, the other one gives you an opposing solution.
Okay. I'm still not entirely sure what the
we
solution
bring the
is.
missing element or we match the element. That's kind of the gist I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was that, Emmy, again?
We bring the missing element, aka the parents, or we bring the element of the Titan to get its attention.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
But it could also be that both solutions actually work. They might work in different ways.
That is true.
Yeah, so it would be like,
God, I
what
wish
would
I'd picked
happen
up on
if
the
we
answer.
brought the parent missing element? Would that make them friendly, or would that piss them off, or would doing the same for
Hey,
you know,
Gary, can you
the
pass me the
element?
eraser on top of the dice?
Yep.
Either way, it's going to be. I think.
Either way, thank you. I'm exactly back where I was before, which was either we match them with their own element, or we bring the element that them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a coin flip. Basically, we
Yeah.
decide what we think will work, like for us and for the Titan.
I have a feeling I'm going to cast all these spells and I'm going to get exactly the same two answers for all of them.
Well, legend lore might not give you as clear an answer.
It might not give me
because most legend laws will give you cryptic answers.
any. Yeah.
And if you were to commune with the gods, most of their answers are even more cryptic than legend lore.
You can contact other planes.
They contact
Can't
other
remember.
places.
Can't remember what. Apart from the fact you can actually make yourself insane, I can't remember.
That is
about it.
true. And contact other plane may not get you the god you're looking for.
I
No,
know.
contact
It doesn't
other
get you.
planes
It
will
doesn't
get-
get you a god.
We'll get-
In this case, it
yeah.
does get you a god
Okay.
because Mystara, demon lords are gods.
You consult an otherworldly entity.
And their equivalent of Cthulhu in the setting is also a god.
Yep.
Basically, it's basically dial a god.
Yeah, I've done it twice. I did it in the first war, and then I did it in both big wars.
And we had someone try to speak to their own god in a city and got Loki instead.
Yeah. Okay.
But
then again, they did try to summon their god in Loki City.
okay, my list of spells is not. I think I've lost a page. But I can look through the ones that I've got here anyway. Yeah, I do have legend lore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the way to go, because I've done legend lore before, and my experience is that it could be even more vague than this. I presume it's the extent of the vision.
It is the extent of the vision.
In the vision, if I have any control, I'll offer both birds a cookie in thanks for their wisdom, and bow my way back into the Knights River Inn, or click my rubies together and wish to go home and get a good coffee to deal with the headache I now have.
Okay, you find a nice big cup of coffee sitting on the table before you.
I know that there's a gnome.
And pushing it across the table.
Pardon?
And you pushing it across the table.
Oh, I was going to say, I know there's a gnome responsible for that, and I'll thank them. But if it's Eat, then I'll thank her as well. And offer her one of the chocolate coffee beans from my pouch.
Okay.
Just to thank her.
Quite happy with that.
Well, she likes the chocolate coffee beans. They're crunchy. It's not quite the same as bone crunchy, but you know, they're still crunchy. Trying to get her off the whole bone crunchy thing. It's not the only kind of crunchy that a Fey Dark can enjoy.
Well, they do say they are what they eat.
Really, Chocobo's being a bad influence there.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm worried about them hanging out now that I know what Eat can do from my experience in the Shadowland. Not that I've not told anyone about that, because I'm still processing whether or not it's safe to have Eat within either party at all now, and I really don't want to deal with that idea because I don't want to part and separate from Eat. I've known her a really long time, but at the same time, if she might eat one of my party members or their companions, that's probably not a good idea.
So far, she's shown no inclination to do that.
No, she seems to just only do so when I ask.
There's one thing she's been obsessed about.
Yeah, so there's a reason Feyre is not entirely comfortable around Eep. Because Eep's natural diet includes fairy dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. This is why we've started her on chocolate-covered coffee beans. They crunch like bones do, but they aren't bones.
She's not going to start. She's not going to get a bit overly excited with chocolate-covered coffee beans.
No, she's not like Chocobo. Mm. Chocobo gets simply chocolate-covered nuts that Chocobo is told is special chocolate-covered coffee beans. I think they're special too. Just like the special coffee Chocobo gets, which is actually cinnamon milk.
Well, Chocobo really only went nuts after a week of not sleeping and having coffee every day.
Yeah, we don't try to.
And I'm pretty sure he's getting coffee somehow, and I'm pretty sure he's building up like an immunity to its effects. Because last time I cast Lesser Restoration on it, it did nothing. After I knew he had coffee. And he was talking to me, and I was half delirious with sleep. So you know that's a great start.
I was going to say, I think that's one way to put you in an immediate sense of Odigon, without actually, hopefully, without actually summoning one. But I feel when Chocobo's delivering you coffee, it's definitely a time for being a little bit worried about where Chocobo's been.
Well, someone had spent a lot of time trying to teach it runes.
Yeah, that's all on Zar. Okay, so
that's not me, by the way.
I have a couple of ideas. I can do Legend Lore. I can do Clairvoyance. I can also do Planar contact other plane type things. I just had a thought in the back of my mind though, which is Io was one of the only dragons able to reason with the Titans. So maybe there might be some people who, dragons possibly, who might actually have some knowledge about Io and how Io did that. Because when we visited the Isle of Dread last time, I got to visit, I think all of, if not most of, Io's storytelling circles, but also all of Kar's.
Well, you do know that most of the dragons don't even know Io exists besides what you've told them.
Oh, okay, really?
Because the previous dragon gods had been taken out.
Well, that puts the kibosh on that idea.
You introduced them to Bahamut after they had forgotten Bahamut.
Right. Because I was thinking, like maybe some of... we should possibly hit up Drazzle, because Drazzle also has a lot of knowledge. Drazzle may not part with any knowledge though, because it's really tricky and difficult for him. But Cacrix is going to look at Drazzle and just go, is there anything you can say? No, it's a fine answer. I'll still give you a hug.
He does say, not right now.
Okay, alright. Alright, well... Do you guys want me to try Legend Lore? Did you want to try Legend Lore yourself?
I don't have Legend Lore. I've only got Contact of the Plane.
Do you want me to give it a shot?
No, I think Legend Lore is not... I think you can do Legend Lore on creatures or objects from memory.
Well, I could do Legend Lore on the Primals. I don't know if we'll learn anything or if it'll just come more confusing. But yeah. Look, I don't object.
Legend Lore will only tell you what's been written down.
Yes.
And if no one's written much down about the Primals, then there's not a lot you'll learn.
But if someone has written a lot down, you know, someone like Drazzle maybe, then I might be able to get insight without causing someone to do a prophecy.
And also we know so little. Even a few little bits and pieces would be useful.
You do see Proska offer you some cards. He's
okay.
Looks like he's asking you to pick some.
Okay. Well, I'm actually very good at cards, but
I think this might be a magic trick.
It might be a magic trick.
Yeah, he wants you to
we actually have mental connections, so I know what he's trying to do.
He thinks it might help.
It might help. All right. Okay. Well, I could do with some help, so I picked cards.
How many cards do you pick?
How many cards do I pick? Okay. Well,
There's
let's
6
just
primals.
go for 3 as a number.
Okay.
I was going to say 6 primals.
Look, I don't know. I'll do anything once.
That's always interesting.
Oh dear.
Is that the Book of Many Things?
Yeah.
As opposed to the cards. And, how many did you say you picked?
Yeah, okay, this is bad. Yes,
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
bad. I didn't realise this is what it would be.
3 and not
Well, he had
6.
been playing with cards for quite a while.
I know he's been playing with cards for quite a while. I thought it was quite
I know
harmless.
Martin's been lining this up for a while too, so I'm surprised I didn't pick it. Jeez, they're pretty.
They look pretty.
Are they boxes or are they just
They're
cards?
cards. They are cards.
My goodness.
So,
You want to put those cards on
so
camera.
Proska, you're into telling fortunes now, are you?
He nods.
Okay.
I was going to say, you need to show one of those cards on camera. They are...
We will. We will be showing
Really
3 cards on
beautiful.
camera.
Okay.
I meant, like, as the deck. If I'd known they were that pretty, I would have stolen that from you
So,
ages ago.
for M's perspective, that's what the cards look like.
Show the gilded gold sides.
They do look very wow.
Like, that's proper metallic gold edging on the sides and
Gilt.
beautiful royal purple to offset it.
You got some nice cards there, Proska. Are they his size? Are they like that big?
I think
They do look small, but when you grab them, they grow.
They grow into... Okay, all right.
Most magical items will size to the user. So you get to pick
Okay, pick 3. Pick that
3.
one there. Now, when you actually use these as tarot cards, the position actually matters. So.
Position does matter, but you're not doing a tarot reading.
No, I'm doing a tarot reading, okay. You have to actually tell me one day where you got these from, Proshka. Oh, well, let's just break the pattern and go over here.
Okay, so what's the first one you get?
Well, let's call the middle one number 1.
We get a map. Let's see, what does the map tell us?
I hope you didn't steal these from anyone, Proshka.
Okay. Oh. I'll check this against this one, because I think there are 2 different sections I can get it from. Usually there's a whole separate section of things you can do with it. So, he's going to do it from this point. I think I like this side more. Okay, so you get to decide, is it upright or reversed?
Because I'm not sure of the difference. Reversed, upright or reversed. We'll say it's upright.
Okay, so you feel that the situation is best navigated with a guide.
Best navigated with a guide, okay. So we need to find a guide. That actually is good advice. Thank you, Proshka.
And what about the second card?
Okay. Celestial. That looks like Eve, actually. At least from this perspective. Very green. And a leafy tail.
Oh,
It's a dragon.
Eep's not green. Eep is black and grey.
Okay, well, all right.
'Cause
It's a
she's
green version
fey
of Eep.
dark. Yeah.
So is it upright or reversed? So that's actually a picture of a coatl.
Okay.
Coatl.
Coatl. Yep.
I would say that's upright.
Okay. And it suggests communication between the upper planes and the material plane, perhaps in dreams or visions, or with celestials as intermediaries.
Not so convinced on this one, Proshka. So far, I'm not impressed with most of these gods. They don't appear to be actually particularly responsible, you know, because we're in the midst of a war at the moment.
In this case, it's more the servant of a god instead of a god itself.
Okay.
What's up? Yeah, where are you?
But hey, some sort of celestial helping you would probably be easier to deal with a titan.
Yeah, definitely.
So can you
like,
say
I agree
again?
with that. I agree with
A
you.
celestial helping you might be easier to deal with a titan.
I could use planar binding to get celestial help. I've done that before.
Okay.
And what about the last one?
I was just going to say that.
You realise we have a celestial force in the party, right?
Oh, okay. No, I forgot that. No, I can't remember his name.
Atlas.
Atlas is
No,
Artemis.
Is the horse.
Artemis.
Atlas is the griffin.
What about the last one?
Okay. I've got a bad feeling about this one.
So I'll show you. The first one we had was the map. Then we had the celestial. And then is the tree upright or inverted?
I'm going to go with upright. Yeah, it's a 3 from 3.
Because they actually use these for divination, and depending on where you place them, they can mean different things.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you've been asking about a situation.
Come on. Up you go. Yeah, this room up here. Kind of. Let's see if we can get the cat. Oh, nope, claws her in.
Interesting cards you've managed to find yourself, Proshka.
I can't unhook the... I'm trying to give him a hug, which is what he wants. I can't unhook his feet. Hello?
Okay, so with the tree in the upright position, still dealing with a situation, it does talk about a small outpost or lone individual holding back a much larger force.
Okay.
But how all these relate to your actual situation, you are unsure. And then the cards are returned to Brosco.
So what was that last bit when I wasn't...
A small outpost or individual holding back a much larger force. All very cryptic and interesting.
It always is.
Very interesting cards you've managed
So
to
they're
find, Proshka.
holding back or hiding a small force?
Holding back a much larger force.
And you do not feel that you can then call upon that again for at least a week.
Oh, to divinate. Oh, okay. All right.
It is a form of divination.
Did you... a thought I had about the last one is there's the forces of Darrigan holding back the Master's armies.
But it's about a single individual.
Yeah.
Well, it says an outpost or individual, so it could be the outpost.
It could also be there's other things going on of which we're not aware.
Yeah, yeah. That was just more of an immediate thing that came to mind, not necessarily an accurate thing that came to mind.
Though you do realise you could also pull on it for the equivalent of witchcraft with the deck of many things. But that was just a divination.
Yep.
You can't pull upon the deck of many things without intent.
Yep.
It's never by accident. Though I'd then have to pull out the cards that relate to it.
It's a really nice set though. It's a shame you haven't pulled them out earlier.
I have pulled them out a couple of times, but no one actually pulled cards when he offered it to them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Calcrix has. She plays cards with him.
You played cards, but you didn't pull a card.
Oh, yeah, she'd pull a card if he offered her card.
He wasn't offering you, he was offering Anton.
Okay, I didn't realise I'd been offered cards.
Calcrix loves doing things like that.
The irony here is that Anton has the skills of a really good card shark. Never actually used it, but you know.
I was going to say, this is not necessarily a bad thing.
Though this is the deck that they didn't actually match everything up properly. I have a spare one up there, which is all recut and printed, because they messed up the original printing.
Oh, I did that.
That's
Okay.
kind of good.
Which is the set I've currently pulled out is the original printing.
Okay. Do we think we've got enough to proceed? I still think that I still feel at sea here. We don't know enough.
I think we're just going to have to make a decision. I don't mind.
How do we get to the Primal Titans? Let's put aside the question of what we do when we get there. How do we get there?
Well, they're on the Isle of Dread.
That's where they started.
No, sorry, yeah. So I've just been making notes here from this very handy screenshot Martin said. But I also made note of when we woke up the Primal Titans of kind of where they went. I believe fire went and attacked the sun.
That's right, I do remember that.
And then tide. Sorry, I have to refer to my book beyond this now because while I remembered it perfectly while I was trying to listen to the cards, now my brain's like, no, you can't have that information back again. So they all went off in different directions, basically. But generally, dawn is associated with mountains, tide is associated with islands, storm is associated with plains. We know, I'm fairly sure that, is it, I'm just going to have to go back to these pictures. One of them is the island in the middle of the lake that we were fighting from. It is death. Primal death is it the Tarask?
Primal Death is not the Tarask.
Oh, okay. Oh, is the Tarask a different Titan?
It is a different Titan.
Okay,
it's not a Primal Titan.
Don't listen to me then.
They do
Death will
actually
be
have
found in the
rules on
swamp.
using the deck for divination.
Hunger will be found in the forest.
Okay, so you basically lay it out in the...
There's a multi-card spread depending on what you're trying to find out.
Okay.
Multiple spreads. So there's a 3-card, a 5-card, and another one.
Okay. Sounds like the 5-card one would be the most useful.
Mm-hmm.
I have to remember 5-card spread next time we do this.
So you get just a little bit more options. Yeah. 1 week. So we could always say we table this, and then 1 week later we can sort the cards.
Yeah, we
No.
don't have a lot of time though.
No, we don't. Yeah, so we're most likely to find them in those kinds of terrain.
Okay.
Our cleric doesn't have any.
So basically, how it was supposed to be read for the 3-card spread is the first card represents the past.
So that was Celestials the past, communicating with the planes.
Celestial was
no,
the second.
guide.
Oh no, I
The
laid them out.
map.
I laid them out like that.
The
Oh, I
second
can't
card
see.
represents the present,
Okay.
and the 3rd card hints at the future.
Okay, so which one was the first then?
The map.
Yeah, best navigated with a guide. That's the one I picked as the first. Although the way I physically laid them out was different, but I picked the middle one as the first one.
Okay, so the guide was the past. Is that right?
Best navigated with a guide. The past is best navigated with a guide. The present is communicating with the upper planes. And the future is a small outpost or individual holding back a much larger force. It actually makes some sort of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like our fight with the master.
So I will allow you to choose to do the 5-card spread as well if you wish to. Though he
Well,
would ask
the
someone
worst-
he would
the
ask
worst
someone else to do that one.
Yeah, the worst that would
Well, what
happen
about-
is it would just confuse us.
Zal. Although Calcrix would love to play
Because
the cards.
you've done yours for the week.
Okay.
In the sense of you believe the deck might
Zal
work on a...
also has her drinking horn if she wants to use it.
Does Zal wish to see the fates with a 5-card spread?
Oh, not really.
And the idea is I need to shuffle them
Zal
upside
saying
down.
not
And
really, and does that mean Calcrix kind of bounces up and down, going pick me? Because this is a game she'd really like to play because she has no clue of how bad this can get.
I think this is divination in that sense is not going to be disastrous. It's just going to be worst that's going to happen is it'll confuse us.
It's not so much disastrous. It's just I have to say model your views on what's going to happen. 'Cause
Yeah, confusing.
it is ever changing. So what you can learn today, yes, it could guide you, but like it wouldn't take it as
You see, this is what a mature adult would say, which is why the dragon's more than willing.
well, Zal will be saying this as a character and saying, like,
Yeah.
if the deck is offered to me, he'll decline and give his reasons. He would rather. We've had one, and plus you've had your vision of the crows.
well, the first one tells you a single statement. but you pretty much have to pick it. The second one talks about a quest, that which is hidden, that which is needed, the challenge, and the outcome.
If Zal's saying no, and Calcrix is given the offer, she's taken cards. There's just no way in her personality she can resist that. Well, she's got the flaw written into her character. She cannot resist this kind of thing.
Okay, so I've mixed the cards up fairly well and turned them upside down, and so they basically have 5 cards.
Although, God, it would be funny if Eat did it.
Okay, so the first card we have is the Fiend.
I'll move the camera over
Of course,
so I
it's
can
the
see.
Fiend.
Then we have the Book. Then we have the Pit. Then we have the Tome. And then we have the Gem, which does really sound very much like Calcrix.
I was going to say, this sounds like this magical deck of cards. So we had the Fiend, the Book, and then what was next?
The Pit, the Tome, and the Gem.
The Tome.
Fiend is the quest. I can't remember what the rest of it is.
So actually the layout is the Pit is the quest.
Oh, the Pit is the quest, okay.
We're going to go visit Herman.
Don't even know who Herman is.
Herman is the avatar for the Queen of Darkness, and he lives in a very big pit.
Okay.
He looks like a Cthulhu beast, basically, but he really likes coffee.
Okay.
So there was Fiend, Book, Pit, Tome, and what was the last one?
Gem.
Gem. So the Fiend could literally be Eve. The Book could be all of the books of learning that she's got. Questing is, the Pit is,
And based upon a situation, the Pit can mean a situation involving someone's fall from grace.
Yeah.
And then we move on to that which is hidden is a book.
That might be a metaphor for hidden knowledge rather than a literal book.
So it might be a fall from grace, the first one. Well, she's been expecting a fall from grace for a while, actually, now. Ever since she found out what Eep can do.
And you believe that it relates to a creature that keeps an exhaustive diary in some form or seeks to scribe to record its deeds.
Sounds like Drazzle. A creature that keeps...
keeps an exhaustive diary in some form. Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to make it so that it showed the cards and I stuffed it up. Can I see the cards now? Sort of, you can see them.
Sort of. If I put it here, I can then say put the first card in the center.
Yep.
If I can get that to actually sit properly. Yeah. Better if I can get the...
Not an expensive camera, so...
It's more the standards the problem, at least for me.
A creature that keeps an exhaustive diary.
So that being the first card in the pit.
Yeah, which is a situation that might involve a fall from grace.
Second one is a creature that does an extensive diary.
Yeah.
Next step is that which is needed, which is the tome.
A tomb.
Yeah. Is it a tome or a tomb?
Tomb with
T-O-M-B. I'm bad at pronouncing things, so you know that.
No. A tome and a tomb could be that which is needed. Well, I know of several tombs.
Maybe it's bringing back something from the past.
Well, she actually has something from a tomb. It's stuck to her chest right now.
Okay.
That which is needed.
And
might
that
be
which is
Bahamut.
needed normally refers tools necessary for success on the quest.
Her shield might be necessary for the quest.
And
Success.
with the tomb, You believe it is a person with a secret or a gap in their memory.
Just a second. That which is necessary for the quest.
A person with a secret or a gap in their memory.
So which one was that, the gem or the fiend?
Tomb.
This was the tomb.
Oh, I thought the tomb was that which is needed.
That which is needed is the third card.
And so that which is
which is the tomb.
Right.
And then the tomb's actual revelation is a person with a secret or gap in their memory.
Okay.
So first one is referred to as the quest, which was the pit. The second one is that which is hidden.
Sorry, I'm still writing a person with a secret or gap in their memory, because I cannot write as fast as you can talk, and my hands are also spasming. A person with a secret or gap in their memory. And now I'm getting confused because tools necessary for the quest was also mentioned, and I don't know.
I was reading out what the placement of the third card was all about.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's not relevant.
Oh, it's probably best to just we need a person who has a gap or a secret.
Okay, so that which is needed.
The fourth card is the challenge.
The challenge is a fiend.
And represents chief obstacle to success. And the challenge is the gem.
Okay. So the fourth card is known as the challenge.
Yes.
And the fourth card is the fiend.
No, that was someone giving you the wrong name.
Okay.
The fourth card is the gem.
Well, the fourth card's the gem.
Yes.
Ooh.
So the fourth card is the gem, which is the challenge.
So it goes center, then left, then right, then down, then up.
Okay.
Right,
That's a bit odd, but anyway.
This is where I was getting confused. And what was the challenge? Just.
I was trying to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
But,
You're still looking it up?
Yes.
Yep.
And trying to get words out while doing stuff and not confusing you is hard.
Confusing me is easy, unfortunately.
And so the gem represents the chief obstacle, and you believe the main obstacle is a valuable treasure or a magical gem.
Interesting.
So gems and so a valuable object is an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends on the context, I think. Like, if you're talking about the context of, say, defeating the Master, a valuable treasure could be his soul forge.
Yeah.
And that's a cheap obstacle for us.
The final one, which is considered the outcome.
I'm a rogue.
And that's the fiend.
Yeah. So we've got quest, that which is needed, that which is hidden, the challenge, and the outcome.
And you believe it may result in an interaction between the lower planes and the material plane. Perhaps an infernal bargain or demonic destruction.
Well, that sounds
That's the outcome.
a lot of fun. So the lower and the middle planes?
Lower and material.
Oh, lower and material. Thank you.
And amusingly, all of them came upright, even though I spun the cards around multiple times.
Spinning the cards around, they'll come up. Yeah.
Because that way you didn't have to choose. That's how they came out.
So do we know if this relates to our current circumstances, or do we have no way of knowing this?
It is a divination.
Proshka just offered up cards and Zal turned them down, so Kalkrix picked them up.
So if Drazzle gave you the cards, it would then have to happen.
Yeah, so we're not asking Drazzle.
No. This is all possible things. I'm not sure that it helps us necessarily, but Kalkrix liked being able to play with cards.
Hey, like all divinations, not everything has to come about.
So
very cryptic.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well, the only way you can do a divination in a game like this is to have a cryptic one.
Zal did warn us that it would probably confuse us more than help us.
Yeah, I know.
And it may turn out to be the solution if everything goes weird.
Yeah. Okay, well...
Because, to be honest, many in the party fit the descriptions.
In that case, do we want to see whether or not we can figure out... do we want to contact or try to get in contact with our first Primal Titan, since we haven't got any more information on this, or are we going to try and do some more information gathering?
Well, at the moment, my worry is, and maybe it's because I'm just too confused, is that we're not sure where they are. We think we might know where they are, but we don't know what to do when we get there.
Well, we kind of... We need to try it out. Short of trying to find more information in some other manner, like doing, say, legend lore, or finding out if Zal has some spells or has some ideas about how to get more knowledge on it. The next thing to do is to go there. We've got the apples, and find out.
Which one do we think we have the best chance on of the 6 Primal Titans?
Well,
one is flying, one is swimming, and that leaves the other 4 to walk.
So you've got green, which is earth, hunger, gulter. Zal's got white, which is air.
What do we know about their personalities? Not much?
Not much, because there are no one living today who witnessed their actions.
The really basic guide we've got, if Martin's picture is somewhat on par, is that Dawn Fire is related to Fury Chaos. So you'd be expecting Cheval, basically, when she's in her Fire Genasi mode and wants to burn everything, including the whole world.
Yeah.
Tide is water and intellect and deceit. So expect someone a bit like Yodri. Trixie likes to use their intellect to try and trick people, so you're not necessarily going to get a straight answer. Water likes to be fluid, doesn't like to be contained. So you'd be looking at it trying to sort of wiggle its way out of things, like, I guess the idea of if you try to contain water with a simple brick wall, it's going to find ways to leak out. And so you might have to be very careful about how you talk with water. Storm is air, which is protection and order. Death is death and decay, basically. Then you've got hunger, which is life and nature. And then calamity doesn't have any attributes to it. So I'm guessing in terms of personality, you could probably match the Titan to the person who has or is supposed to have their apple in terms of that personality. Would that make sense, Martin?
It would give you some degree of satisfaction if that worked.
Can I do an intuition or something like that on there?
You could try an insight.
Insight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't have my stats right in front of me, but I saw them somewhere.
You do have your spinny dice as well.
I do have my spinny dice, but I need to know what my stats are, and I don't know if these ones are up to date.
They should be fairly up to date.
They might be.
Because they would have been made about 16 weeks ago, roughly.
Well, I don't have I've only got my printed one, and for some reason...
I believe we printed a new set when we updated you to 12th level.
I do have proficiency. So which skill is this under? Is it under intelligence or
insight? Insight can be is normally associated with wisdom, but any skill can be associated with any attribute as long as you can justify it.
Yep.
Well, I always try to find a way to link it to charisma, not because it's my highest roll, but it's just because it's... can't remember how I've been justifying it. I think you told me how to do it one time. And so I'm like, I'll go to that because that's what you taught me. But it's been 8 weeks now.
It has.
And so now I can't remember how you told me that I can relate it to that.
Well, strength is normally about using your muscles to do stuff.
Yeah.
Constitution is normally about your body's resistance to stuff, helping you do things. Dexterity is generally about how your reactions are able to help you.
I think this is more
and your fine motor movement. Intellect is more about your problem solving and memory. Wisdom is more about your ability to think outside the box and your ability to make connections to things that aren't normally connected.
Yeah.
Charisma is normally about your force of personality and ability to make people see things the way you see it.
Yeah, so I think that I use charisma when I'm trying to use insight to help other people figure it out, but I think because this is on my own, it's definitely a wisdom rather than an insight. So let me just make sure this is straight, flat before I try and spin it. It's indeed flat because I don't want to sit it on the line between 5 and 11, which is what it does when it's not flat.
You can use your thumb to stop the spin.
That will be a 13 plus 8.
Makes it a 21.
Makes it 21.
Okay, so
Not the highest rolls, but not the lowest.
and so what was the insight on again?
Whether or not, in terms of personality and locating the primals, would be as per the notes I made from your screenshots. So my insight is that the personalities probably suit the people who have or are meant to have had the apples. So Dawn, Fire, very similar in personality and temperament to, say, a Cheval. Water, Yodri, Halfling type personality, that kind of thing.
Well, looking at things, if you believe that all of the people are associated with terror, and you're trying to do someone that represents that sort of thing, one of you really is a cleric of terror.
So we should be asking her.
And as he is a actual voice of terror in the world, that gives you a pretty important voice.
So
None of you are actual voices of the Alamasters,
no.
but some of you do represent the cult that the Alamaster is head of.
So basically, you're volunteering.
Yeah.
And you believe that whatever you're doing will probably involve 2 people.
So when we're
apart from 2 of them, there's 2 of them that aren't linked to terror. Is that right?
That is correct.
Or is there only one?
There is technically only one not connected to terror.
So if I'm interpreting Martin properly, each person who needs to approach their primal should take you with them, because you kind of represent the mother, whereas they'll represent the father figure.
And you do believe that it doesn't actually require a physical distance to travel to meet them.
Oh.
We just have to hold our apples and call on them?
Most likely via some form of ritual commune.
Oh, okay. Well, I can
because
do communes.
Titans are all considered immortal beings.
I can do commune.
Because, to be honest, they can't be killed by normal means.
Why are my books upside down? Why do I have
I was just going to make a suggestion, although one of the things that I suggest I think has just been bypassed because we don't actually need to travel.
Suggest a way.
Just looking at contact other plane. You get 5 questions. If you succeed, you've got to make a saving throw. If you
Oh
make
god,
the
I'd
saving-
much rather commune than contact other plane.
And you get 5 one-word answers or narrator's discretion.
Yeah,
a brief,
this is why I prefer
a brief
commune.
but truthful answer.
Yeah.
So I thought we could plan 5 questions. Like,
we're talking about a primal.
well, there are some things I still think we don't know enough.
Yeah. Well, I've done contact other plane several times.
Sometimes she's gotten more than 5 questions.
You see, every single time you do it, we're going to have to do this up
I know
to 6
there's a saving.
times.
There's a
You're
saving.
risking your mind.
I
Whereas
know.
commune will do exactly the same thing, but it won't be limited by 5 questions. It won't be limited by yes/no answers. You won't have to do a save. Yeah, I'd much rather do a commune. If
Well, a commune goes to your deity, or a divine proxy,
I think
or a
if we
person.
hold the apple relevant to it, we should be able to connect with
Yeah, but the point
primal.
is what I'm trying to get at is we
Yeah.
don't know what they want. Like, one of the questions I want to ask is, what does insert name of Primal want?
Well, as I was saying before, it's not about what they want. It's about I think it's going to be about from rewatching the episodes and going through all of the notes from Tuesday and Friday groups about the primals that we've got and discussions we've had with the elemental lords and things. Appeasing them is not about giving them what they want. They're children. They're 2-year-old children, sort of thing. They're like toddlers and they're having a tantrum right now. You don't ask a tantrum toddler what they want. You say, now up off your feet now, it's just a little bruise. You parent them. You don't cater to their needs so
But
much.
you also can do things like distract them, offer them something else. I just feel that we'd be talking to them, we won't actually have anything. We won't be able to actually.
The problem is we can research this until the nth degree. I don't think we're going to get any more
All right, okay,
information
whatever.
than what we've got.
I also think that, like, going down the route Anton just mentioned was that going back down the route of trying to control them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not control. It's not controlling, because I see this more as a negotiation, a bargain,
yeah.
rather than anything else.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
and if you're going to negotiate a bargain,
So-
you've got to know what the other side wants.
In the last session when we were talking about, because you were asking the same question, what do they want? Nyx replied that they're only able to help when asked, and that Izzy and Emmy were both saying, so these are essentially, Izzy was particularly asking, even though they've been asleep for thousands of years and they're ancient, thousands-year-old, they're essentially children, like immature children who haven't quite grown up yet. We know they've been being taught by Ka during their sleep. We don't know what they've been being taught by him, but we know that they are more advanced than when they were put to sleep and they're stomping the earth into the ground. But they're still essentially needing probably the soothing and placating a parent would give a child who's unhappy. They don't understand why they're unhappy. They're just unhappy. So, these children have had someone essentially take their candy bar from them because it took their energy from them, and they're upset by that. So it's a case of giving them that they're there, it's okay. Here's a different kind of candy bar. Now that you're feeling better, we need your help. Sort of
Okay,
thing.
I'll give it a try. Like
Yeah.
I don't have any better ideas, so
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I just thought that more information would help, because I just think we're shooting in the
I'd
dark.
be tempted, and as I said, I'm willing to throw legend lore at it. I'm willing to throw clairvoyance at it, but I think in the end, the intuition I'm getting from Martin's answers is that we're just going to get more of the same, which is we're going to get an idea, but until we actually do it, we're not going to know.
Okay.
We're not going to be progressing much. Is that about right?
Right.
It is about right.
Yeah.
Because the gods aren't permitted to tell you a straight answer.
Yeah, we're not allowed. So
okay.
we're not going to find a straight answer, no matter how we look for it. Because
Okay.
I'm like, shit, I'll just throw legend lore at this. Surely we'll get more. Surely someone's written something down. But Martin hinted before when I'm like, I'll do legend lore, is like, you don't. There's not.
All right. Let's just roll the dice and do it then. Okay.
Well, you may not be rolling the dice. We might be role playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, you just try it and see what
Yeah.
the hell happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Martin's already thrown Zal to the wolves, so she could be the first up with air. I'm a horrible person. So air would be. So I gather if we've got all the apples, one of us can have the gold apple. We'll say Zal had the white one, or Carcrix had the black one. Look, I'm happy to go first and try entropy and death. Was I given any indication with dealing with mine that they needed to be done in a certain order?
No.
No. Okay.
So however you do it is up to you.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about that, Emmy, Zal? Are you happy to try one and see how we go?
Yeah, I'm just busy, so I'll be back in a minute.
So it'll probably be Calcrix then.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the information we've got, look, I don't want to do Cheval's for her. I'd really like Cheval to get to the point. Same with Yodri. So I've got entropy as mine, and so we thought entropy plus terror. So presume Zal is with me. Would that be right?
Technically.
Yeah.
Russell also does show you a diagram of
Right.
a four-pointed star.
Yep.
Where each of the points of the star needs to represent something, and the center represents something.
So that's 5.
Okay.
Well, there are 5 places.
There's 5 things. So
So does that mean we have to have 5
okay.
gems or 5 aspects of our own?
So what I remember about this is that the center one will probably be entropy, because I've done this pattern before. I have a very vague memory of it, but when we were balancing elements before, entropy was kind of the key point.
You do remember that you had gotten some advice from 2 ravens.
Yes. The 2 ravens said
They could both be correct.
yes. Titan must respect the elements within it. Balance can be brought by bringing. So perhaps what we need to do is bring all of the apples with us, and all of the apples that aren't the one that we're approaching. So if we've got tide, we need to bring the other
3 elements.
The other 5. The other 5, because entropy makes the 5th element. Would that be right?
But there are 6 apples.
There are 6 apples. Bring all...
With that description
6?
of the diagram, does that mean, say, like the entropy one, the other elements are on the corners, so we might need the whole party to do this while we're calling on a singular.
Do we need the whole
being.
party to do this?
You do feel that Zal has a closer idea there that does actually represent the answer you got from Odin.
I.e., we need the aspects we each have rather than the gems.
And you
Well,
expect
I think
one answer represents the center of the diagram, and the other answer represents the surrounds of the diagram.
Okay, so the center of the diagram will be...
So say we're going to the air
parent.
one, you'll need the gold and the gold and the white in the center, and then the other 4 on the outside. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, I think that is.
Because that's like we're in the center and we're getting balanced by the elements on the outside.
By the blue, the green,
The black
Black.
and
and the red.
the red.
I think that is...
Oh, yucks.
I think that is the answer. So if that is, and we have to wait for the rest of the party members to be here.
We could NPC the rest of the party members.
Okay, so because I'm like, why did we start this session if we needed people who aren't here? And that's the only reason why I was going.
They essentially
the
can
other
just
way.
be holding the apple magically.
All right, so then we could do it that way then. Well, now that you're back, did you want to go with air first? Which would be Storm, Atali, Protection, and
sure.
Order. The other option is I'm happy to try Death, which is...
I'm happy to try the elemental. Sounds like
Yeah.
fun.
So, Atali. Alright.
So if I'm representing what? If I'm representing air, who's going to be representing Terra, or should I just represent Terra and someone else represent air?
Well, you're the only one who can represent the Feathergale Knights, or as they are, the Air Master.
Technically,
Yes.
Feyre's got the gold apple, so technically I think she's able to hold the gold apple with you.
And Feyre is a Fey creature, so
Yep.
and she's from the Fey Wild,
Yep.
which is Terra's domain.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I would say that it was Feyre that's going to be holding the gold apple.
Much like
The whole time.
Eep also represents the Fey Dark.
Yeah. So it'd be you and Feyre in the centre, and then it would be Yodri, Anton, Calcrix, and Cheval on the outsides. So what we need to do is arrange for the room, go to a room that is
Mhm.
empty, set it up so that we can each sit in our positions,
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to be communing through the plains, and each hold our apples, and
hope.
yeah, I don't know whether or not we want Eve in the background playing some jungle music. I don't think that's probably the humorous attitude we should be bringing to this. But
I
it's a
can
nice
do
thought.
war drums in the background.
No. I was
He's
just I was being silly for a moment.
Okay.
But I think that's all we need is just a quiet room, locked door.
There is the cellar of the Knight's Riveton. That has only one external door that generally can't be opened by non-members of the organization as part of its protection from misuse.
We might see if we can ask Redrian to put someone on the outside of the door to make sure no one enters, but if something disastrous happens, someone can get help.
Drazzle's happy to sit there with Chocobo and a few of the other friends.
Yep, that works.
The other menagerie.
But he will first draw out the circle for you.
Thank you.
You see he takes the crushed gemstones of 5 different colours.
Oh.
So it sort of looks like a rainbow, having each of the main elements mixed into it. So in a way, you're doing a communion.
It's been a long time since I've done communion.
And it is big enough for 2 people to sit in the middle, even if one of them is a dragon.
Fairy's only little.
I mean, for when Calcrick sits in the middle.
The other dragon.
The other dragon can resize herself. And she'd much rather do that than take on a human form.
And he does warn against stepping on the symbol.
So do like Hiccup does in the movie and like tiptoes around the drawing.
So the circle is for the 2 main people to sit within.
It is a circle with 4 points.
Yeah.
So think of it more like a compass.
Okay. Yeah, because that's how I got it drawn here as a compass. So he does all of the points. Do we sit on the outside of that point or on the inside?
You need to sit inside the
Inside.
point.
So Calcrick's will very carefully step over, making sure it tails out of the way. Nothing accidentally brushes anything. Very conscious that she's got 6 limbs and a tail to worry about.
Doesn't that make it 7 limbs?
Yeah.
No, it's an appendage, tail. It's not a limb.
Yeah.
I know, it's always interesting to question.
Can you use it to hang off trees? Then it's a limb.
Because some creatures can use their tail as a limb.
Yeah, I think technical definition of limb is different to an appendage. It's an appendage.
Right now, I'm just being careful as I'm crossing over these crushed gemstones that I don't muck up the work of Drazzle. Even though it's not exactly rocket science to create the circle, it's magic, so...
Well, you do see various symbols in the lines. And the circle itself seems to have a balance of the elements.
Sorry, which...
The circle in the center seems to have a balance of the
Oh,
elements.
okay, so there's two... There's a circle within the center of the compass?
The center of the center of it is a circle with the lines coming out the outside.
Okay. You're challenging my brain.
All good.
Well, it's really hard to visualize something I've never seen.
I presume it's a circle with like a line to the north, south, east, and west.
It basically looks more like a box with a circle in it, touching the edges.
Oh, okay.
So there's a big space in the center and small spaces at the top, bottom, left, and right.
Right.
Alright.
Okay, so as each of you sit down in the points, the gemstones light up.
Well, we must be doing something right?
Yep,
We
something's
sat
happening.
down.
We sat down, yeah. But we sat down doing the right thing, I hope. Oh, March dot. Oh, sorry. Dog outside wet shook.
Completely covered you in water.
She did a dog
No,
thing.
she shook right next to the clean clothing, though.
That's a dog thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. You don't go back outside.
The cat's gonna hate me because I'm gonna get up.
Yeah, so sorry for that wild interruption there, but
All good. So yes, inside the circle is Zal and Fairy. And as all the bits around you light up, the two gemstones in the center light up, and you feel yourself as if you're floating on air.
well, that's a good sign because we're trying to contact the
Storm and
Storm
Air.
Alferia, was it?
Itali.
Oh, Atali, sorry. I don't know where I got Alferia from, but Atali.
So you are unsure if they it is a name they were given or a name they chose.
It's the only one we've got, aside from calling it Storm. What's going on in your claws, bud?
I could call her Atali of the Storm.
Okay, so you feel as if you're in the eye of the storm at the moment.
So, calm but raging on the outside?
Well, currently calm, but prone to be violent at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, you can never really predict where a storm's going to go. You can guess,
Yep.
but a guess is not a prediction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't mess with the storm. Then you don't piss Mother Nature off either, so you know.
And you can feel the air around you fill with static electricity.
I feel like there's a song here.
If only Josh were here.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say Josh would know. Josh would definitely know.
And you feel you have the floor now, so you're going to have to come up with what you want to say.
Oh, okay.
You did go first.
I did go first. That is true.
Well, she was kind of shoved into first.
I did partially volunteer too, so that's fine. I'll say, Altari, I hope this is the name you wish to be called by. We have come to be friends and want to understand the Primal Titans and the hardships you've been through. And hope we can find a way to help help you.
Okay, so you do get a sense of a otherworldly being's presence, so you get to make a wisdom saving throw as you're
Wisdom
currently connected your mind to a otherworldly being.
Luckily, I am somewhat good at wisdom saving throws. Two.
22. Okay, so you seem to feel you've managed to keep your mind intact, even though you do feel the pain of its connection. It's not gentle.
I feel the mental strain, but I've managed to keep my shit together.
Pretty much.
Good to know.
Well, hey, I'm sure mind melding with a dinosaur is always going to be a little painful.
Yeah, that's always gonna end well, right?
Yep, and you get a feeling of distress and probably loss as well.
The biscuit isn't sweet. It's a keto
Stress
biscuit.
and loss.
Do you want?
Altari, I would really like to know what has caused you such great distress. What is it that you are seeking?
You get a sense of anger and betrayal.
Anger and betrayal.
Well, the master stole power from them.
So presumably, that's the conclusion I come to, or
It could be you're not sure that the entity you're speaking with can actually use words.
right? Okay.
You could try if it's a mental connection. You could try sympathising.
Yeah, I could try. I mean, like, I'm learning how to do this on the fly, so.
Yeah, I know.
I know you have been through a lot of pain, being put to sleep for was it thousands of years?
Yep.
Literally thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands of years. And also to have your powers abused by those who seek guess power beyond their means. That's kind of what the master is trying to do, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. And he's stealing it.
Yeah. Yeah, stealing it and also abusing their power for his own gain. We are trying to fight against the entity who has abused your power. But we would be eternally grateful for any help or assistance we could get from you.
You do get a feeling of anger and a desire to lash out at... well, it doesn't know what it wants to lash out at, but...
The master. That's who
no.
you want to lash at.
Imagine something that can't put it into words.
Yeah.
The creature, entity, is basically lashing out at the world at this stage.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what we want to do is redirect that towards the master.
Yeah, I understand that you're in great pain and you don't understand why. We would like to help you understand who has caused you such great pain, and seek to prevent it from happening again.
You get a sense of it wanting to completely wipe out whichever continent is responsible.
It's not a continent.
It doesn't make a distinction between person and continent.
Yeah. We've got to teach it that. And one of the things I just remembered that you said in the last session, Terra was asking... No, not Terra, the air elemental was asking about enlightenment. Can you bring enlightenment to the Primal that you got the apple to, and you were talking about how you'd learned from your mistakes and your experiences. So trusting you to be able to educate and give knowledge to the Primal, you were given the apple. I don't know if that's helpful.
Like it is, but I mean, like Zol's experience is. I mean, like I guess it kind of relates, but I caused grief to people, not in the same way that the master has caused grief.
But you've also
caused as much grief. Maybe, I don't know. I could have caused more grief. But I've endeavored, in my later years of life, to fix the mistakes of my past.
I will give you an insight roll.
Insight roll. 23.
Okay, so you have a sense that if you were to explain what the master is to the entity, it would probably seek to eradicate all humanoids from the planet. Because there's no real distinction between one humanoid and the next.
So that's not...
Maybe you should describe the master as a soul forge.
Then it would eradicate every soul forge on the planet.
That may not be a bad thing, but...
And the gnomes will die off.
But...
Do I have an idea of what would be the best way to explain that doesn't single out, say, like humanoids or like an item or a country?
It probably wouldn't stop at a country. It would literally level a continent.
Oh, continent.
So imagine taking out both North and South America, considering it might consider it the one continent because it's connected.
What about, you know when you do have those regrets and you are trying to get redemption, a part of that is about finding a place of contentment and peace. Maybe what we need to be educating in particular is not about attacking and lashing out, but how to reach a place of peace to move on.
How to
find its place in the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say enlightenment, but that's kind of the wrong word.
How to attack and burn it to the ground.
No, that is not what we're trying to do.
Ah, come on.
And that comment, my friends, is exactly why you're not getting your red apple right now.
It's exactly why you're not going first.
Oh. What do you mean I don't go first? No one wants like massive supernova with me spreading my angelic flaming wings and.
No. We are trying to prevent major catastrophe to the world because
Strahd.
There is already one major catastrophe.
So far, there's not a lot of confidence in passing over that red apple.
Yeah.
It may take me years to mentor the fire genasi to be responsible enough to use that apple. We may never beat the master.
Apple. Gimme.
Technically, Chauvel would definitely be holding on to one, but be told to keep quiet.
Yes. Zol will
By
eventually
the power of Apple.
Zol will eventually get better at talking to people. It's not been his strongest suit.
Do you have to talk? Could you commune with the Primal on a different level? On an emotional level?
Do we have a bard and can they mime?
The closest we have to a bard is a flaming paladin.
Sure. I mean,
please don't encourage the flaming paladin to sing a dance. But he will do it.
I can play charades.
Okay, so
2 words. We're fucked.
So in terms of that, could I pour my emotions?
what emotion would you give it?
I will empathize with
Sadness for never being a ranger again.
No, because I've had things taken away from me, and I also have had regrets.
Well, you
Okay,
lost your pride.
A quick question for you then, Em, is
Yes.
say imagine it's a child and the child's been hurt. How are you going to stop the child from lashing out at the world because it's hurt?
Comfort.
Love.
Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, you're okay. Let's go.
Drazzle does.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bit.
They're Altara, you're okay. Let's go fix the world together.
I will give you a clue. Drazzle does it all the time.
Hugs.
Yep. Don't
I mentally hug the giant dinosaur.
Yeah.
I
And
was
for Sal,
I was gonna say mentally wipe us, but you know.
for Sal, that's a really big thing considering she was caught in stasis in the mouth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
And this is literally a oversized version of that.
But I don't see what it looks like though. I just feel like I'm in the middle of the storm. Like it's tantrum, I'm guessing, or its feelings, which correlate to being a storm.
You had learned that wherever the Titan is, that's where the only storms that are currently operating in the world can be found. While it's throwing a tantrum, there are no, there's no rain being anywhere else.
I suggest you sing it a song. It starts with "Let It Go."
No, incorrect. Zal stuck in the root sandstorm.
So what would you like
Can
to...
you remix Let It Go with the Root Sandstorm and then
No.
the big recipe?
You definitely cannot.
Well, I might get you to start with a persuasion check to see how persuasive you are.
Okay.
Oh, I will give you advantage because you did give it some sense of relief.
I would really love to send you this photo right now because both my dice have rolled a 19.
Well, hey, I guess the dice are saying you're very persuasive.
Well, considering my persuasion is +2, I kind of needed a higher roll anyway. So that would be 21.
And then followed by a performance roll.
Oh god, okay. Is that also an advantage?
I will give you advantage with it.
I'm sorry, I'm the one who suggested "Let It Go."
A 16 and 18, so it's still pretty good. So that would be a non-natural 20 for performance.
Okay. You do get a sense of the storm abating. And the sense of heading home.
Okay.
Basically, you think it's been trying to find what hurt it, and was going to basically ravage the world until it found it.
Right.
And probably never find it.
Not let it go.
Please.
Bodies by drowning.
Alright.
And then you sort of feel the connection dissipate.
Okay. So I think I've given it, I guess, a sense of purpose, maybe?
What's the purpose?
Destroy the master? I don't know. Destroy the
Well,
world?
yeah.
Either way.
It seems like you've at least mollified its anger so that at least we're 1 out of 6 towards getting the seasons to return.
What I had said was you believed that up until you spoke to it, it was basically rampaging around the world trying to find what hurt it, and was basically just going to, and probably would never find it.
Yeah.
So everything was a
we've
target.
We've essentially told it now what has hurt it, and I've tried to empathise with its hurt.
It still
or
does,
to
it
empathise.
never understood what you said hurt it.
But it liked being hugged, and that helped.
And you believe it's heading home to its home.
To its home. Okay. Well, I mean, that's what we were aiming.
Yeah, if we can get them to all at least return home, the seasons will hopefully go back into place.
Because
Like,
I was
it would
hesitant,
be-
as Martin said, to describe the master, because, as he said, like, toddler can't distinguish.
No. We can directly ask for its help, but we shouldn't be asking for it to attack someone. So it might be we'll go back after we've settled all the seasons. We might go back to them and say we need your help. But at this stage, just getting the seasons, that's our main task.
That's our main priority, yeah.
Because it's going to be a short season.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost to the end of the second month of spring.
Yep. So we really need to move on trying to get all these titans back home.
And you realise that a day has passed with just that.
Wow. I guess I'll also relay to the rest of the party, for at least Altari, they predominantly communicated in feelings rather than words. While they might partially understand what we're saying, they only got feelings sort of back at as an answer.
Okay, so having successfully spoken to one of them, you managed to rest up because you're all exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, who are you going to speak to?
I was going to say, did you want to have a go?
Well, if it's
You've
going to
got
be
your apple?
if it's going to be persuasion and persuasion and performance, I'm no good at it
It may
either.
not be. It depends on how you decide to approach it, and you may not know how to approach it until you interact with it and get a feeling for how it's feeling. It might be more grounded than Storm is.
Yeah, maybe.
You said you did your research on the Earth Cult and things like that. Maybe it'll be more along the lines of guiding it along a meditation that the cult uses to calm it down. You know, they may have been really boring people, but I'm fairly sure that they had rituals and things like that might be useful.
Well, I've got to give it a go at some point, so if you want me to go next, I'll go next. I think it's Galta for me.
Yes, it's hunger. So it could be that you could relate through Proshka and his endless need for cookies.
Not sure Proshka's the right example here.
No, no, probably not. But it could be relating through the Earth Cult. Did you say that they have a very structured diet?
They have a they're very rigid.
Yeah.
Because their entire belief is about other things not moving them.
Purpose and stability.
Yeah, so maybe the things that you need to imbue your primal with is purpose to go home and stability to return the seasons.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get to join Feyre in the centre of the circle?
Well, it wouldn't be Feyre.
It wouldn't be? Oh, who would it be?
It would most likely be Zal again.
Zal, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
Mainly because Feyre's not here.
Well, you had Feyre in the circle with Zal.
That's because you had two people.
That's because I technically represented both in that previous one, whereas I can represent Tara.
I see. Yeah.
We needed two air people.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which is why we NPC'd Fairy.
Yeah.
And you'll most likely give Fairy the white apple on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly because you can't have someone not here doing the talking. Okay, so after Drazzle restarts the circle, you're not sure exactly how much the ritual will be setting him back.
Do
you need some help with it?
I'll contribute to supplies. Actually, what I'll do is overnight I will help Drazzle crush gemstones. I'll donate some of my gemstones of the correct colours because I've been collecting quite a bit whenever I've gone through places on Tuesday. I've been visiting all the gem crafters and buying up gems.
I'm afraid I don't have much in the way of gems, but I do have skill in Arcana, so I can help.
Well, you can help.
He does teach you how to do some of the circle.
Okay.
While he does some of the other bits, and it makes it go a little faster.
Yep.
It takes about half the amount of time with the help, with very little correcting.
Okay, good. Can always learn.
Yep, same here.
Though he does tell Proshka off for wanting to move it.
Yeah, Proshka, this is one of those situations where it's best just to watch and listen, and maybe something interesting will happen.
I invite you to sit Proshka on one of Eep's branches, and they can share cookies and watch. Eep is a safe babysitter.
Or you can sit in my lap, Proshka. Is that the thing you could do?
Depends. Do you want Proshka talking to a Primal Titan?
Proshka can't talk.
But Proshka can emote.
Yes.
Only limited emotion. You're going to do limited emotions.
I'm
can communicate
sure
simple emotions, images, telepathically.
You may want to at least leave Proshka with
which, from what
Drazzle.
you've imagined, is exactly what the Primal Titans are doing.
Yeah, I know. It's probably not the best thing. He's probably best on the outside of the circle. There'll be cookies on the outside. There won't be cookies on the inside.
Okay, so inside the circle, instead of feeling yourself lifted up like you did the previous time, you sort of like feel the weight of the earth upon you. As if nothing you can do can hold you up. And you feel an intense desire to eat.
Okay. Yeah. Intense desire to eat. Do you have any inspiration about what could... Oh, God.
But both of you get to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Zal,
Do I get advantage because I'm kind of expecting it?
Were you expecting to feel an intense hunger?
I was expecting
I'm expecting to feel something.
Oh, look, I
I will give you a D4 on top,
D4? Okay.
but not advantage for this one.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it is called hunger. I'd expect to feel
I'm
hungry.
pretty good at wisdom saves, but I'm going to throw a fate point at it. I don't know how difficult it is, so I might actually. No, I'll save the intrepid because that's a one shot. So. Whoa.
What happened?
Well, the two numbers add to 7. How about that?
Oh. I was going to say, do you have the fortunate thing?
Yeah, I do. That's why I rolled twice.
Oh.
I got plus 11, so the 4 becomes a 15.
Okay.
That may
I
not
get
be good enough.
18.
Okay.
I won't sure die, Sam.
Everybody wants her dice.
I technically rolled really low for my favourite dice. It rolled an 8.
Okay.
But it still rolled
I
more
haven't
than
plus 8.
both of Anton's dice.
I rolled a 2 on the D4, and I have a plus 8 in my wisdom saving throw. So, yeah.
Okay. So yes, the both of you end up with cramping stomachs.
Okay, well, I just have to endure that.
It is uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. So, but it seems that we can actually feel the same way as Galta is feeling. I actually don't know how you'd sate hunger. I hadn't thought of that. How do you sate hunger? I presume it's such an entity that it can never really be satisfied.
Well, in your Earth cult, did you have to go on fasts? And how did you deal with it?
Well, I don't recall ever going on a fast, but denial, yeah.
And you did have many meditations.
Okay. Well, all right. Then I will try that. I will try. Mentally overcoming. So through meditation to actually go outside and go beyond it. I'm not sure what that skill would be or what that role would be. To be honest, I've got no idea.
Discipline, maybe.
No, so that aiming for the fact that the hunger is part of me, but it's not all of me. I'm more than just craving. I'm something more than that. Trying to get beyond it. That's what I'm trying to do. If that makes any sense at all.
It does make a lot of sense.
Okay.
So I will give you a persuasion roll.
Oh dear. All right, we'll try the fate point again. Didn't help me last time.
May help you this time. It did
That's
help
a
you
lot
this time.
better. Okay, so that gets me to the spectacular total of 20.
Okay, so you do get a change in your senses. Your stomach's no longer cramping as much, though you do get a feeling of curiosity.
Yes, I want to explore the world. I connect to that. I run with it. Like I'm young. I'm of the earth. The earth is bountiful. I want to learn about the world. Try to connect to that. Try to reinforce and run with it.
Though you did manage to get one of the Titans to return home.
Yeah.
Depends on if you want him to...
Explore might mean that he doesn't want to go home. So maybe you want him to explore his home.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that they're all necessarily need to be at home, but I can sort of see that what was it that's triggered it again? I can't remember. Something you said triggered. I can't remember what it was now. Can't remember what it is.
So what was...
I can't remember what it was. It was something Martin said. I can't remember what it is now. Triggered. Oh yes, you want to actually understand the world. You're young and you want to learn. I can't remember now.
There was a spark of curiosity about you.
Oh, about me?
Yes.
Well, not about the world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
As in, you
I think
introduced it to this concept.
I think he's wondering how you managed to overcome your hunger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I completely misunderstood what this bloody thing was.
I think the intrigue is that he's this person who's more than just the hunger.
Yeah.
And able to be more than just this
Okay.
horrible feeling.
All right. The only way I can see to help him then would be honesty. Open myself up about it. That you know that we can be more than just those base emotions. And there is more to the world. There's lots to find in the world. There's joy to be found in the world. The world is bountiful. The earth is bountiful. And you have a home.
So I will give you advantage on a performance check to see if you can keep its attention.
Choosing all these skills I'm no good at. All right, throw the last fate point away. Who cares about fate points?
What does the fate point give
That's
you?
what they're
It just
for.
gives you. I've already advantage. I've already got
Gives you
advantage.
advantage.
Yeah, I've already got advantage. Okay,
It's the,
so forget that.
fortunate fate.
Forget the fate point. I've already got advantage. I might as well not have that. 5. We get to a total of 5.
Do you want me to start rolling for you?
We've got a total of 5 on 2 dice, which with my +3 gets me to 8.
I was going to say, you might need some help.
I should have actually asked whether I can use a different stat.
Yeah, that would have been helpful.
Okay, so Zal, you do get this sense of confusion coming through as Anton seems to be jumping from concept to concept very quickly.
I will kind of. Is there any way I can guide Anton? Just be like, okay, slow down.
Focus on one subject.
You could take over the narrative.
I'm not doing very well.
He did get it to pause.
He did get it to pause. Okay.
Show it something. Show it.
So it's gluttony. So its thing is food.
I think it's consuming. It wants to consume the entire world. So I don't think it's as specific as food. I think it's as broad as everything that's in front of it. It wants to consume.
Right. So Anton meditated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he managed to alleviate some of the of his hunger pains. I will go with that, and I will sort of like with Altari, I will
Teach it to
sort of
meditate, maybe.
give the sense of peace that I feel when I meditate, and wanting to reach a sort of a higher level of sort of self-control and better being.
Can I try something else?
You can
different?
try something else.
If you try to get this is a different angle to it. Try to get across the idea that you can have something without consuming it, that you can revel in the world without actually consuming the world. Thinking about the concept of wanting everything, but wanting everything in a different way, wanting it in a way that you can enjoy it rather than it ceases to exist. Try to get that idea across, picture it.
As a singular concept.
As you're trying to picture that, you just get a sense of taste.
Taste.
It experiences the world through taste.
Cheese is great. Tell them that. I've got a cheese bag. Cheese is great. That's probably not what he was looking for, but I'll just throw that in there.
its ability to perceive things is limited unless it tastes it.
Okay.
Which is why it consumes so
What
much.
is the taste of home?
It's also that you can taste things by licking them and smelling them without actually consuming them.
You're going to turn the Primal Titan for...
Into a puppy dog running around licking everything.
No, into Tuesday's gnome who just licks things. There was a gnome in Tuesday's group that would just lick everything.
How did you know that wasn't the Primal Titan?
It could well have been.
Okay, so
Oh no, it's just well, whatever.
it struggles to differentiate taste, but for Zal, you get a sense that it's most at peace when it's tasting things.
Give it something to taste. I don't know how you do that.
And when it's not tasting, it's just angry.
Okay.
Is there a way to get it to experience?
Try to remember tastes. Try to remember tastes that you've enjoyed. Different things.
Yeah, like vicariously. So like I'll think of like food from my home country, from Ethengar, and Galantry, and the differences. And the differences
The
there.
foods I loved as a kid. I actually wrote them down in my backstory.
So you get a sensation it seems to focus on horses.
Horses?
Okay.
Ethengarians are horse people.
Because
we don't consume horses though, do we?
you don't, but it picks up that thought.
That's not a good direction.
Well, it is so big that a horse is the equivalent of a tiny snack to it.
Okay. Try to remember the smell and taste of garum and spice. And try to give that across to like other tastes.
It doesn't understand.
Doesn't understand. Okay.
So the creature itself could potentially swallow a town in a single bite.
Okay. Fair enough.
So from his perspective, anything smaller than, say, a ship is too complex a flavour for it to pick up.
What about the sea? The taste of sea air? How about that? I'm just trying to think of something big that...
It can pick up the salty taste of the sea.
I wonder if it remembers what home tastes like. Because surely when it was home...
When it was home, the creatures there were big enough for it to differentiate.
Well, there you go.
The only problem is I don't know what Tyrannosaurus Rex tastes. Well, actually, the Tyrannosaurus knows what I taste like, but you know whatever.
You're familiar enough with dinosaurs to at least picture those dinosaurs, because you've seen them when you've been on the Isle of Dread in the past. So
I mean,
either
if you suggest dinosaur, Zal instantly thinks of the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Well, yeah, and maybe just visualizing the creatures is enough to evoke a taste for Gulta.
And considering it is a massive T-Rex,
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah. Well, you can sort of see beneath it here are some settlements.
Okay. All right.
And when they show you, that's another settlement underneath the flying one. So they are huge creatures.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about miles in width.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does get a sense of home when you perceive dinosaurs.
Okay, give us something else.
Go eat the shiny Tyrannosaurus Rex and the giant. What were the giant flying birds?
The pterodactyls.
This is a long shot. I don't know what it thinks of it. Well, actually, can I tell? You know, picturing the other dinosaurs or trying to get in picture of the dinosaurs. What's its reaction? Does it like its siblings, if you like?
Of the other primal titans, or the...
Yeah, I don't know what its relationship is like, but I'm just sort of saying, would it want to be, you know, be with others that might be its siblings, I don't know, or at least distant relations, cousins or something?
You had heard them described as siblings.
Okay, so try and get across that its siblings, those it knows, are home. That idea.
Okay, it seems to be focusing on home.
Okay. And home, the hunger bit's the hard bit. This.
Home is where the food is?
Don't know if there's any food there at all. I've no idea.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of food on the island.
Well, it's like a mother's cooking. You always want to go back.
The best food is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to this island. I've got no idea.
Yeah, Zal has. That helps probably.
Zal remembers it. Probably the word isn't fondly, as there was this long period of time where Zal was stuck in the mouth of a T-Rex.
I was going to say she doesn't remember so much of what the food tasted like, but more like what it was like being tasted by as food.
And you live to tell the story, Zal. I'm impressed.
Well, it was put into suspended animation in the mouth of a T-Rex in suspended animation.
Okay.
And was stuck like that for about a month.
The reason why I survived.
Sorry, did you say that's the only reason you survived?
I think that's one of the only reasons I survived.
Yeah.
Well, they managed to find another cleric to heal you by the time they got you out.
Yes.
Okay, so you're about to die. They put the whole lot into suspended animation. We will be back soon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that suspended animation cock pokeball?
Pretty much. Okay, so after you do that, you get a sense that the ritual stopped.
Okay.
And Drazzle thinks you can probably speak to her second today.
Okay.
Who do you wish to speak to?
Someone else who's more likely to succeed than me.
Well, in terms of playing characters, I presume Joss is still driving home. So there's only really me.
No, I'm home.
You're
I'm just
home?
eating dinner.
Would
I'm
you-
also very tired and I might need to go to bed soon.
Well, would you like to describe your character while you're here?
I was going to say, would you like to tame your Titan?
Sure, I can give it a red hot crack, but I play Cheval, the the fiery, hot-headed Janazi, who apparently needs to tame a Titan.
Oh, well,
Hopefully you'll do a better job than
we're
me.
not, by next time the session comes up, you may or may not be available, so we should probably take advantage of it while you're here.
Okay, so after witnessing two other rituals, it is now Zal and Cheval in the center. And I'm sure there's a lot of trepidation, and you do get a stern word from Drazzle to Cheval with saying behave.
And you get an equally stern one from Calcrick saying, I have to answer to elemental lords for this, so yes. The goal is not to burn the world, but to save it.
That's no fun.
Ultimately, at her heart, Calcrix believes that Cheval is more than capable of doing this task, though.
Okay, so after all the ritual goes through, Zal and Chauvel find themselves in a bright light and intense heat. And get a sense of something soaking up all the sunlight.
Soaking up all the sunlight.
Yep, and only passing on a little of it to the world.
I
Someone's being greedy.
was about to say, that seems very greedy.
And so Primal Dawn has been living up to its name. It's only been giving people the equivalent of Dawn for the last 6 odd months.
You're going to have to convince this child to share.
And the reason the sun hasn't been visible is it's been stealing most of its light. Do you have a feeling it's been holding it for a instant release,
Mm-hmm.
which
It
would
was-
which would most likely burn the world to ash?
No, I was about to say that's a supernova about to happen. An actual one that doesn't, just cause sunburn to people who haven't seen the sun in about 10 odd years. That's the I'm going to vaporize everything kind of supernova.
It is.
And from Zal's perspective, it's the angriest one you've come across so far.
Yeah, that doesn't sound surprising at all, right?
Come on.
Even Therion agrees with you.
Is it possible to direct that anger?
It is.
Oh.
At which point it will dump all its
Yeah.
anger at that one spot.
As we learnt with Storm, it's probably better to console, comfort, placate than direct the anger at something. They're just too powerful.
Yeah, they're very powerful entities that it's like what's that story where it's like that the kid has a lot of power but doesn't know what to do with it.
I'm not sure, but I kind of know the one you mean.
Yeah, that one. Anyway,
Yeah, sorry. I don't know titles.
no, that's okay. It's that one. Essentially, it's that one, and we're trying to soothe the put a balm on their anger, essentially.
Does it need to release? Does it actually? Is it holding an enormous amount of energy, and so if it will have to release that at some point, or is it just that it's absorbed everything, and once it stops absorbing everything, it'll go back to normal?
You'd get a feeling it's trying to recover what was taken.
Okay, so it's holding everything in.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same as Altari, where she just wanted to lash out and destroy everything. This is like, once I know the thing that hurt me, it's gonna get singed to a crisp, possibly.
And if it can't find it, it might just singe everything.
Yeah.
And much like the first one you spoke to, it probably would, if it identified a humanoid as what took its power, it would most likely wipe out all humanoids.
Yeah. So we don't want to describe the master or like human beings or items. We just want to soothe it.
Yeah, it
But
soothes
this one
and
is
make it miss
particularly
home.
angry. Yeah.
If you can make it miss home, it might return home.
I remember the nights at the Isle of Dread being quite nice, with clear skies, no city pollution, The daytimes are a bit hot, but you know, that's up to interpretation, right?
Well, this is the fire primal. I think heat is what it's after.
Didn't we get near a volcano? I'm gonna think if we got near a volcano when we were at the Isle of Dread, I can't remember if we did or not.
There were a couple of volcanoes there, but the one you got near wasn't active.
Oh, it wasn't active.
There
Well,
we
I'm gonna think of the other one and hope it's active.
You get the sense that it is drawing on 3 different suns.
3 different suns. Okay.
So, from its perspective, the volcano isn't even in the same weight range.
Okay. I don't know what I could compare 3 suns to.
Well, maybe we don't want to compare it to 3 suns. Maybe redirect its focus and its purpose away from sucking up all this heat to doing something else. But I'm at just as much a loss as probably you are as to what kind of purpose to give it and how that purpose would get it to return home. Maybe Cheval as a fire Janazi might have some
You'll
insights
be
into
able
that.
to empathize with the angry fireball, right?
Well,
Unless the angry fireball has already fallen asleep.
Can you direct the all that or not so much anger, but what I'm thinking of is all the energy, all the fire that this can't remember his name, Zaltak or whatever it is absorbed, and direct it somewhere where it's completely harmless, goes to nowhere. And
well, it at the moment it doesn't really want to direct it everywhere. It just wants to sit in the sun and keep lazing in the sun and sucking up all this energy. So I guess you've got to give it a reason to want to go home.
And you do know there is a sun inside the world as well as outside the world.
Okay, I didn't know that, but
That's what they call the hollow world.
Mm-hmm.
so sending all that energy outside the world might be a
So
good thing to do.
if it returns to the Dread Island, it could access the hollow world and the sun there.
It's not there. It's only available through the north and south poles,
Okay.
which is why sometimes it flies north.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, I was hoping Cheval might have more insight, because she's got that background of the culture and being oriented towards fire, basically.
Well, maybe she can also empathize with the fact that,
Yeah.
she wasn't always fiery and angry, and she's learnt to channel that in a
Yeah.
far more productive.
Well, yeah, that's what I was hoping Cheval might be able to do.
Do we have a Josh still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
And what did Josh have to say about that?
I would like to like hopefully connect with it and see why is it so hurt to the point where it's trying to channel everything to destroy everything, and explain to it that not everything as it seems, and explain the story of how something of mine was lost and I became very fiery tempered and hot-headed to the point where it changed me.
Think of explaining it to a 1-year-old.
Yeah, so this is your 1-year-old?
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So it'd be more just an emotional connection that you'd establish to begin with.
I give it a big hug and say, there.
Okay. So I will give Cheval a Persuasion roll to see how well Chauvel can hug.
I was about to say a warm embrace to say.
I was going to say to be a very warm embrace.
Mm-hmm. Persuasion. Can I make that charisma based if that's okay?
You can.
You can, because you have a fiery charisma.
Mm-hmm.
So Martin's the one who gets to say you can. I just wanted to add you have a fiery charisma. So.
23.
Okay, you feel a sense of contentment coming from the entity for the first time. Well, up until now, all it's felt is pain.
Yeah.
And imagine hurting something and it not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
I imagine none of these primals have been given comfort before, so it's kind of a new experience.
Or at least
for them.
not while they were awake.
Yeah.
While you're dreaming is completely different.
They all just need a big cuddle.
Okay, so I will give Josh a performance roll to see if he can get through to it.
Alright, performance. Alright, performance. 21.
21 is a very convincing performance, and considering the others had managed to convince their titans to return back to the Isle of Dread, you get a sense of it also wanting to return home. Now that it's no longer looking for that which hurt it.
Yeah.
And you have managed to successfully placate 3 of the 6 titans.
Wait.
Do we notice anything different in the world, like now that the 3 of them are not raging around the place?
Well, you do notice that the day you just got up, it rained for the first time in Norvik since the Titans awoke.
Okay.
That Primal storm stopped it raining.
Okay.
You believe the sun's now going to come back in full bloom, and that with primal hunger sated, its plants are going to grow again.
Okay. That sounds positive.
Satiation. That was the word I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, I said
Looks
satiated.
like it
How do you
was
satiate hunger? I don't know. Particularly all-consuming hunger.
Well, he was pretty much consuming the life force of the planet,
Okay.
which was stopping plants growing. But as it is now on 10:30, we could wait till next session to talk to the others. And if they don't show up, we could literally hand wave the discussions because you have come up with a method to talk to them. At least until you get to the last one.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
You happy with that, Em?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay, so did you want to add anything before I go to end credits?
No, I'm good.
And so, 3 out of 6 is not bad.
It's a start.
It is. It's a very good start.
Calcrix will take the advantage of the fact that she's in Norvik and in a township, and she will go look for replacement gemstones and visit markets for replacement ingredients of things. And of course, hold her usual, when she can, puppet show with Eat for the children. With their little punch and duties set up down by the markets, pretending to go on adventures together with her Leaf and Calcrix's hand puppets. But mostly she's got to restock on a heck of a lot of gemstones and crystals.
Yep. It does go through a bit.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I'm now going to put you on end credits and then close off the session.
Yep.